Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about a question that I get all of the time, and that is, can I manifest a specific person? So, say, you are doing you. Say, you are living your life, you're content in who you are, you feel grounded, you feel, like your life is that you get to have fun. You're just overall content and peaceful with what's going on within your immediate reality. And your outlook is good, your worldview and your personal view are great. And overall, like, you've got a pretty steady attitude towards life. And somebody kind of comes into your atmosphere and you think that they're really cute, or you might develop a crush on them because who knows, like they got a great personality or whatever. There's tons of synchronicities, whatever. And oftentimes, I think what happens is we, see this person and we automatically make them our, like, the light in our eye. We automatically just make them our focus. We might start thinking about them, or, thinking about ways that maybe we can initiate more contact with them, and whether that be that we decide to approach them, or this is usually after, by the way, like the initial contact has begun. So let's just say that, like, you met this person, um, I don't even know why, but a yoga studio is coming into place. So say you meet this person like at a yoga studio. And if you just saw my face on YouTube right now, like those of you that are listening to me on Spotify, my face was really ridiculous because I've never met anybody through, like, somebody that I thought could be a partner through yoga. But anyway, because usually guys know better than to hit on girls in yoga studios. That's why. But say that you meet them at a yoga studio, and you find them attractive or whatever, but like they don't ask you out, or they don't ask for your number, you don't do the same. So then, like, you might sit there and you be like, oh, and you keep repeatedly seeing them in class, but like nothing is happening. So this is where, like, yeah, usually this is like the scenario in which somebody says to me, well, can I just manifest them? And I always have the same response. And I think it surprises people. I always ask, why would you? And then they give me this long list. Well, he's really cute. He does yoga. He seems kind of spiritual. Like he runs his own business, all this stuff, right? Like, could you imagine what type of power couple we would be? I mean, women, I love my woman, but man, do we love to write ourselves some stories. So anyway, they come back with all of this material about who this person is presenting themselves to be. But the thing is oftentimes what happens is if we try to manifest a specific person, and yes, you can do this by actually taking action, or you can try to do it vibrationally. But the minute that we find ourselves attracted to another person, we put all the focus on, we can put, if we're trying to manifest them, to me that tells me that you're putting all of the focus on them, and you begin to start to kind of unknowingly, even unintentionally, shape yourself around them, meaning that if they get there 15 minutes early, and you know that they get there 15 minutes early because you once out of 20 got there 15 minutes early, then you start to get there 15 minutes early. You kind of start to change your behavior to kind of draw them to you. But when we do this, we're actually pushing them away. And here's why. Because the minute that you make someone else your focus, you make you less of your focus. And everything that you were vibrationally attracting into your life before that person came in now is getting derailed, because at that time you were content being single, you were whole, you were in your essence. You were completely just like, I'm content doing me. Like, and it's so funny because I've said it too, like, hey, like, I'm just content doing me. I'm just gonna sing my song until somebody comes along. And if they're singing the same one, then great. But like, what happens is the minute that happens, we're like, and so, so then we can kind of just like shift the focus onto them. And then we can try or want to, whether we notice it or not, we try to like manifest them. And what ends up happening is one of two. Usually it always leads to disappointment, because when we're taking ourselves from being the star role in our reality, we're making somebody else it. And that is not how things work. You are the ultimate creator of your reality. So if you start kind of outsourcing your energy and placing it really strongly externally on another person, start modifying your own behavior and start just doing little things, you're kind of pulling away from who you are. And that is not how we manifest. You know, if we go back to understanding that our reality is a delayed reflection of the vibration, which is our attitude, right, towards our worldview and the things that are happening within our immediate environment, if we understand that our reality is a delayed reflection, then we understand that we are the ultimate creator. And I'm not saying that that person may not be your person, but the minute that you are trying to manifest them, you are no longer where you were, which was in this state of wholeness and contentedness. Because now you're like, oh, wait, there might be somebody entering my life, or there could be somebody entering my life. So now I'm going to shift my attention towards attaining that thing, which pushes you, whether we realize it or not, farther away from actually bringing it in. Which is why you might even notice if you do arrive 15 minutes early, you might smile at him or something and he doesn't respond. Or you might deliberately try to do things to get his attention and it doesn't happen. Or maybe it's the other way. So often, again, when we have such a strong desire towards something, we we kind of fall into this state of lack, we, because our attention is on that person and we want to acquire, or we want to attain that relationship. When we think it's close, we kind of like do this knee jerk reaction of, how can I get it to come closer? Like, it's right there, like I can see it. And then we wanted to get it to come closer. But what we forget so quickly is that we are attracting that thing to us at all times. And that person, if you start to try to specifically manifest them, you don't even really know them. You don't even know if they would fully come into alignment with you. And what you're doing is you're offsetting your vibration when you're making them the apple of your eye, when you're making them the focus of your attention and the focus of your affection and all of that. So my go-to response is, why would you want to manifest a specific person? Because if you're always in your contentedness and in your state of inner peace, and you're always just doing your thing, living your life the way that you love to do so, I wouldn't intentionally try to align yourself with another person, because the universe is already doing that. It's already working on it. And um, the minute that you kind of try to manipulate that is when you sacrifice your own vibration. The other thing that happens is, like, even if you try to take action and you might, and I'm not like telling you not to create conversations with someone, or not to create conversations, but I'm not telling you not to have conversations with someone. I'm not telling you not to take actions on anything. But what I'm saying is, as you go further and further down the road with them, if there's more things that kind of appear to you where you're out of alignment with them, I think what so often then people are like, oh, well, I've enjoyed the company of this person, so now I want to, like, maybe I'll settle, maybe I'll, sacrifice wanting this. Or it's just kind of like easier to do because now we're no longer alone, or like that's the way that it looks. So we have to be really mindful of those feelings of codependency and feelings of like loneliness that pop up. And it's not that you can't spend time with a person, but you still have to understand that you always should be holding the space for you to be whole and for you to be loving yourself. Because the minute that you're really more focused on acquiring anything in your life, it doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship or a career or money, is the minute that that thing becomes the center of your attention and you just end up chasing it. You end up chasing it away from you because, again, the way that things work is you are already everything. So therefore you draw everything to you. I think this whole idea where people think that they're like, well, I chased this and I got it. Maybe. You don't really know that because everything is a delayed reaction or a delayed reflection. So like, you don't really know. Um, it's just kind of, it could be anything. And I'm not saying again that there's no validity in like going after what you want, but I think so often when we go after what we think that we want, it usually is not what we want. We learn later, this isn't really what I wanted. Where if we had just delayed the gratification and maintained who we were, without putting the focus externally, we could have possibly gotten what we really wanted. And some of this, whenever we kind of do this, sometimes this can be like self-sabotage and we just don't even realize it. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's smart to try to manifest a specific person. I think if you see somebody that that you find attractive, or, even if you start conversing with someone who, is just seems amazing to you and you're just like, wow, they're amazing. I'm going to just say this, then still just keep doing you, and you'll naturally just you'll have no choice but to come together, because you guys will just be in this, you'll be in your own individual vibrational states, and you'll just come together very seamlessly. It'll be natural. And your reality is always it's a delayed reflection. So even with situations where we already are with somebody that we find to be amazing, you'll notice that you know on the days in which maybe you're not feeling so great, you might end up finding yourself being annoyed by that person, or you might finding yourself being rejected by that person, or you might find yourself being angry with that person, or resentful, or you might find yourself being in an argument with that person. And this is so beautiful, because oftentimes what we can do, if we realize the opportunity that we're being given, is we can say, where within myself am I out of alignment? And is this person rejecting me because I rejected myself somewhere, maybe a few days ago, or maybe 3 hours ago? How am I not showing up for myself? How am I rejecting myself? If this person is angering me, where am I angry within myself? Where am I frustrated within myself? Where am I not giving me what it is that I need? What's really funny is I'm going to use a quick example. I am a very, very social person, but I know when I have had enough of being around people, when I can't even have a 5-minute conversation on the phone with somebody without feeling it's almost like I feel very disorganized within my body when that happens. I feel like my body like wants to rip apart. And I know that that is when I am not being loving enough to myself. I know that that is when I am not being with myself enough. I know that that is when I am not honoring the space that I need. And so, rather than choose to lash out on the person that is literally just trying to have a 5-minute conversation on the phone, I just say to them, I'm sorry, I have to let you go. I have to tend to some things. Can we talk later? And more often than not, their response is, yeah, sure. And I love it because then I can feel grateful for them loving me in loving myself. Or sometimes, just depending on who it is, I can just tell them flat out, like, hey, I just don't have the capacity for this right now. But more often when we are finding ourselves in continuity with another, it is because there is a place within us that is where there is incontinuity. There is a place in us where there is friction. And so I don't really believe in manifesting a specific person. I think people come into our lives and we can identify where they're aligned and where they may not be aligned. And I think that that's a beautiful thing because we can then say, where am I aligned and where am I not aligned? Because usually it is a direct reflection. And then I can make that adjustment. If I come across somebody who is completely scatterbrained, who is not focused or whatever, then I'm kind of like, especially if I have judgment around that, if I have a lot of judgment around that, or if it's frustrating me, then most likely it's because I'm not focused. It's because I'm undisciplined. It's because I am having a lot of thoughts at once. And maybe I'm not loving myself enough around that. I think that that's a beautiful thing. So, my answer is I would strongly discourage you from manifesting a specific person because you don't know everything that there is to know about them. You don't know their alignment and their vibration and their belief systems and their outlook on life. And if you're going to there is a way. Obviously, we do it all the time. I think within friendships, though, it's a little bit easier because we have such different expectations for friendships than we do romantic partnerships. But I think within romantic partnerships, so often we think we just got to be like in perfect unison. And so we don't allow the person to really be who they are, and we don't, because and I think, like, to some extent, like, we think, oh, we're two people becoming one. And I think even though I can recognize the interconnectedness in all of us, and even though I can recognize the oneness of this beautiful reality that we are all existing within, this whole idea of two people becoming one is really more or less, we're just talking about codependency. But when one person can fully be and allow themselves to be who they are, and another person can fully be and allow themselves to be who they are, then we allow people external to us to be who they are. And so this is where I go back to, just take care of you. Just take care of you. Always take care of you. And your external environment will be a delayed response to that. It will always be loving. It will always be patient if you are patient with you. It will always have compassion. There will always be joy if there is joy within your heart. All of those things are available in the external, but the battle, I think so often we think the battle is in the external. Even with everything that's happening in the world right now, people get so roped up, like so roped into this whole idea of like, well, they did this and they did that. And it doesn't matter. The battle has always been internal. If you want your external reality to change, you have to be the peaceful warrior within. You have to, when you are the full commander of your inner sanctuary, of that inner palace that is built within, that becomes the delayed reflection in your external. And then your only job from that, when you start to see that start to happen, is to just maintain, is just to return to the knowing that you are the creator of your reality. There is no need to consciously effortfully manifest anything. You don't need to use effort to manifest. That is a power that you hold within you at all times. There is no doing when it comes to manifesting. You are manifesting every breath, every second. If you take longer breaths than a second, you're manifesting all the time. But what we don't understand is our manifestations are rooted in our emotion and in our thought. They are coupled together. And when you can get them online, that is when it's just so easy. That is when the reflection becomes more immediate. There's not so much of a delay. So just know this moving forward, no matter what you're manifesting, whether it be, a partnership or not. And really just start to maybe be a little bit more loosey-goosey. I think that, life has reflected so much to me that like all the ideas that I have around like being in a relationship with somebody, being in partnership with somebody, it's all illusion. There is no separateness. Really, you're just choosing to spend time with somebody that hopefully has similar outlooks and mentalities and belief systems and vibration. And when the two of you are in joy, you're in joy. And when the two of you are in peace, you are in peace. And when the two of you, individually can meet in that space, you will be within that space together. I hear so often people are just like, oh, I just want to create oneness with someone. But so many people don't understand what oneness is. Oneness is not something that needs to be created. Oneness already exists. But what is your perspective? What is your perspective around relationships? Oneness to me is just like as if you were, you're just shifting in to gear. Once two individual people have a comprehension of oneness, they come together and be in one together. But there is no oneness that sorry, I just hit the mic. There is no oneness that they create. That is a perspective. That is a lifestyle. That is an essence that is recognized and that is honored and that is revered. And so when two people have a respect for that, when they have a reverence for that, then they establish, then oneness becomes a part of their reality. But you don't need to come together with another person in order to establish oneness. You are whole already. You are one with everything that is already. There is nothing that needs to be created within you. There is only things that need to be recognized and valued and revered. So I know that I kind of went on a little bit from like, should I manifest a specific person? My answer is no, in case you haven't figured that out. Be with you. Be with God. Make life your lever. It's actually really, really funny when you kind of shift into this understanding that like reality is just like this constant reflection of your perspective, of your attitude towards everything. You take so much, like you just feel so much love and oneness with everything that is, that the whole idea of desiring anything kind of seems ridiculous. Much in what even seems really more ridiculous, I mean, I understand careers still a little bit, but like when you're kind of just like in love with life, this whole idea of like attaining a partner and being in a relationship just kind of seems like it like diminishes, because you're like, I'm in a relationship with everything. This person may come in for a week, they may come in for 10 days, they may be here for 3 months, they may be here for 4 years. I have no idea. But when you kind of just like start to just maintain you and do you, then it just doesn't really matter. Then somebody can just join you in that space. So yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. Um, just to self promote, I am coaching now. So if you have any interest in that, you can go to my website, kimberlydam.com/coaching to check that out. I also will be offering a Power of 8 group, as well as there's another group that I wanted to create that I just had the thought of last night, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, a I want to create a group that that is kind of like a forgive this, forgive this expression of what I'm about to say, but it's kind of like a phone tree. Does anybody even know what that is anymore? I feel like young people probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, a phone tree of like reminding people to find evidence and proof of where life is working for you. I think that that would be a really great group to create too. But anyway, if you just go to my website, you can actually sign up for my email so that you can get notifications about that. I also will be offering it is called Lab at Play. It is a workshop dedicated to playfulness and creativity. I think that that is really, really important. I feel as we are moving forward, um, if you know anything about what is happening astrologically now, I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about. Imagination, innovation, and creativity are going to be highly coveted qualities to possess. So I am offering a workshop in the spring called Lab at Play, and it will be focusing on that, basically how to create a more how to kind of get into play more, how to nestle in, how to settle in, because I think as time goes on, especially when we get older, we become less playful and less creative, authentically creative. We know that there's all of these formulas that we have created to right, all these formulas that we have created around creativity. That shit needs to go. We need to go back to the basics, so back to zero. And yeah, so I'll be doing that within that workshop. So if you're interested in that, you can find that on my website also. But other than that, I love you, and I hope you stay well and stay connected. Bye.